The sun had barely touched the horizon when I pulled into my cousin's driveway, clipboard in hand, ready to orchestrate the chaos of cars like some uncredited traffic controller. The air smelled of freshly cut grass, grilling charcoal, and the faint, sweet tang of floral arrangements that screamed celebration. I'd been given the task of parking duty. A small, respectable assignment, they said. You're good with details. My mom had told me. Details, I thought, always relegated to the background, always invisible. The driveway was already a patchwork of sedans, SUVs, and a single glinting new Kia. My cousin's parents had outdone themselves. There was a banner so large it nearly scraped the ceiling of the entryway, bold letters proclaiming her name like a coronation. It waved slightly in the light breeze, impossibly triumphant. Inside, the faint chatter of relatives suggested laughter, stories, toasts rehearsed to perfection. I parked cars with the precision of someone who'd long mastered control in spaces where everyone else seemed oblivious. I noticed the curve of the driveway, the way sunlight fractured against polished paint, how guests hesitated as they tried to navigate narrow gaps. All of it, a quiet ballad that I orchestrated without anyone ever giving me more than a nod. By the time I sat down, the party had fully shifted into performance. The cousin had been elevated new car, giant banner, and now she was standing with a sparkling glass, delivering a speech that dripped with casual superiority. Some of us got real degrees, not just online hobbies, she said. Laughter spread across the room like wildfire. I caught my mom's glance, the one that was supposed to mean pride or amusement or support. Instead, it landed somewhere neutral, perhaps confusion, perhaps habitual acknowledgement of status. I said nothing. Not yet. Instead, I sipped my drink, a soft amber whiskey that burned just enough to remind me I was alive, present, aware. Around me, the conversation floated. Toasts were offered, plates were passed, laughter occasionally erupted. I kept my eyes down at first, then slowly raised them, taking in the room. The chandelier glittering, the streamers, the proud parents, the cousin basking in applause. It was quiet powerlessness, the kind that lingers in the bones when you are overlooked in favor of ceremony. I remembered every belittling comment from years past, every side glance, every casual dismissal that had compounded into this moment of invisibility. But I also remembered the nights in the basement, the late hours spent on a computer that seemed to hum with potential, the patience, the strategy, the countless iterations of effort no one had noticed. When the last toast ended, when clinking glasses softened into background hum, I leaned forward. Calmly, measuredly, I spoke. I said, voice low but clear enough to carry. My online hobby just cleared 2 million this year. But hey, nice car. The room shifted. It was subtle at first, a hesitation in laughter, a pause mid-cheer, eyes darting, searching. My cousin's smile faltered, the victorious curve that had once been untouchable now wobbling under the weight of an unexpected counterpoint. Some faces reddened, some widened, some stayed carefully neutral, unsure what social script could follow. My mom blinked once, a micro-expression passing across her features, quick and telling, before she returned to polite conversation. I did not speak further. I did not justify, explain, or insist. I simply took another sip of my drink, the motion casual, deliberate. The external consequence had been delivered, the cousin's public hierarchy was quietly recalibrated. Not through yelling, not through spectacle, not through humiliation, but through undeniable achievement that no one could easily laugh off. She excused herself, retreating for a moment to collect composure, and when she returned, the ease had not fully returned. Laughter continued in corners, conversations resumed, but there was a subtle undercurrent now, an awareness, a reevaluation. She was still my cousin, still the center of the party, but something in the room had shifted, silently, almost invisibly, yet irrevocably. I stayed at the table, scanning faces, noting reactions without gloating. There was no grand applause for me, no proclamation, no rewriting of past slights. Only a quiet acknowledgement that power, even when understated, could be undeniable. My gaze found my reflection in the glass of a nearby window. I was just another partygoer, yet entirely separate, measured, composed. The rest of the night unfolded in careful rhythm. Stories, games, congratulations continued, but I moved with a different presence now, one earned in patience and proof rather than spectacle. I realized that the victory wasn't in them knowing, in them laughing differently, in them fearing me. It was in my own awareness, every detail observed, every subtle recalibration internalized. By the time the lights dimmed and guests began to leave, the party had the same outward appearance of festivity, yet the emotional landscape was altered. I was not celebrated. I was not crowned. I was simply seen in a new way, a quiet but undeniable leverage established without fanfare. The cousin still had her car, that her banner, her applause, but for the first time, it existed alongside something that could not be laughed off, something real, tangible, and mine. And in the end, that was enough.